Last times I've been up here, it's been about the law. And that's what we're going to continue with the law. So the first time, we showed that we ought to keep the law. And what the law does, which is point out sin, blesses you, or it curses you. And then the last time we went through the functions of the law and how it works and how laws are taken out of content. So this time we're going to go into breaking of the law. Say it again, breaking of the law. So it's a couple of different factors. The reason why we end up breaking the law or falling out of this thing. Right? What's the reasons why we fall from keeping the law? What? The flesh don't want to. Yeah, that's definitely a good one. Anybody else?
Ignorance of the law.
Ignorance of the law. That's what we're going to learn it, so we ain't going to be able to say that we ignorant of it. Right? So let's get... First script, let's get Proverbs 7 and 2. Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 2.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse...
I thought pick it up at
1. Proverbs 7 and 1. My son, keep my words.
Do what?
Keep my words.
Keep my words. Read.
And lay up my commandments with you.
Read.
Keep my commandments and live.
And do what?
And live.
Keep my commandments and live. Can we show how does this go back to the law? Law is the first 5 books. How does this particular phrase right here go back to the law? Keep my commandments and live. That's a good one. Let's go before that. In the what? In the garden, absolutely. Give me Genesis 2. Genesis 2:16.
Bereshit, or Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 16. And Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man.
He did what?
Commanded the man.
Commanded the man is that's just a request or what?
Commanded.
Command, right? Read.
Saying, eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
But do not eat of this tree. This is a commandment. Read.
But the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die.
You shall what?
You shall surely die.
So in this Proverbs, he says, keep my commandments and live. Right? So if you keep them, you live. If you break it,
You die.
you die. Not that complicated, right? But it seems like it must be, because everybody break it. All right? Let's look up that word law. Anybody, look that word law up for me.
In the proverb?
Yeah, that's no problem. You can look it up right there. So we're going to look up this word law. It's from the Hebrew H 8450. What does it say?
Torah.
Torah. Now read the definitions.
In the Brown Jarvis Briggs, it says law, direction, instruction.
What is it?
Instruction.
Law comes out to instructions and directions, right? So it says that this book is your instructions or your direction, right? So when you buy a a product and it's got to be assembled, and you bring the product home, right? And it's got the steps in there. You do this step first, this, and this. And when you do these steps, this product should look like what you see, right? Well, take it from me. When I get a product, I want to use it right away because I'm amped about it. So I skip a step, right? So when I get finished with it, I look on the floor and there's extra screws there. Wait a minute. These screws got to go somewhere. I didn't follow what? The directions, the instructions. So you got to end up backtracking everything that you've done just to try to get it back in line or in the way or the instructions. And you should have just did it the way he told you in the first place. So it's a lesson in that. All right? Let's get 2 Timothy 3:16. 2 Timothy 3:16. Go ahead.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration.
All scripture, not some. All scripture. Read.
Is given by inspiration of Elohim and is profitable for doctrine.
What else?
For reproof.
What else?
For correction.
For what else?
For instruction.
For what?
For instruction.
For instructions. So where do we find the scriptures at? The Old Testament. The Torah. This is where we get our instructions from. Read it from the top again.
All scripture is given by inspiration of Elohim and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
For instructions in righteousness. So, what do they tell us that the B-I-B-L-E, what does that stand for?
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Basic, what is it?
The basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Basic instructions. So this book is telling us that it's the instructions, or it is the way. When he tells us about the way, he tells us to do what? To not do what? Not depart from it. Or don't stray to the left hand or to the right. We know through the scripts that narrow path is a tribulous path, right? But you gotta walk that path in order to do it. So you're not supposed to stray from the way or from the instructions, right? So we need to follow the way. Let's get Psalms 119 and 29. So you're going to find that everything and everybody is always going to be trying to get you out of the way.
Psalms 119 and verse 29. Remove from me the way of lying.
The what?
The way of lying.
The way of lying. Remove it from me. Read.
Grant me the law graciously.
Grant me the law graciously. Read.
I have chosen the way of truth. Your judgments have I laid before me. I have stuck unto your testimonies. O Yahuwah, put me not to shame.
Do what?
Put me not to shame.
Put me not to shame. So he said this law, if you read this whole Psalms 119, is constantly talking about the law. So when y'all get your free time, please read this chapter. It's going to be telling how much David, I delight to do your law. Your law, your law, your law, your law, your law. This is what this whole chapter is going about, talking about. All right? Let's get John chapter 14.
John or Yehukanan,
14:1.
chapter 14 and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Elohim, believe also in me.
Believe also in me. Read.
In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would not have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And whither I go, you know, and the way you know.
And the what?
And the way you know.
And the way you know. Read.
Thomas said unto him, Master, we know not whither you go. And how can we know the way?
How can we what?
How can we know the way?
How can we know the way? He basically asking them, what's the directions to where you going? I need to know how to get where you going. Right? He asking the way. Read.
Yahushua said unto him, I am the way.
I am what?
I am the way.
I am the way, because he's the what in flesh.
Torah made flesh.
He's the law in the flesh. Read.
The truth and the life.
The what?
The truth and the life.
The truth and the life. Read.
No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
We all trying to get to where? The Father, right? So what's the directions to the Father?
The Son.
The Messiah. He is the way. He's the instructions. The directions on how to get there. So we need to follow him. He did what? No sin. Right? That's what we need to be striving to get. So keep this in mind. Whatever it is that you desire in life, if it's not towards the Most High, it will never be enough. Got it? No matter what it is that you desire in life, if it's not toward the Most High, it will never be enough, even if He give it to you. All right? Hold that in your mind. Let's get 1 Peter 2:21.
First Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. For even hereunto were you called, because Mashiach also suffered for us.
He did what?
Mashiach also suffered for us.
Read.
Leaving us an example.
Leaving us what?
Leaving us an example.
He left us an example. Read.
That you should follow his steps.
That we should do what?
Follow his steps.
Follow his steps. So if we follow his steps, he be in the way. If we follow his steps, where will we end up at? Where he is at, which is in the presence of the Father. We
who did no sin.
Who did what?
Who did no sin.
Who did no sin. Read.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
Meaning he didn't lie. He didn't tell lies. But it's okay if it's a little white one, right? Stop it. It's a white one. It's not a black one.
Get racist up? I'll get racist about life.
Oh, man. Let's get Hebrews chapter 4.
Hebrews chapter
4, verse 15.
Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 15. For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched, feeling our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
So it says that the Messiah was tempted in every form, fashion that the same way that we are. He was tempted, but he did what?
Like as we are, yet without sin.
Yet without sin. So everything under the sun that comes and tempts us, he was tempted with it. He was tried with it, but he overcame it. So it was some rat that came out, and they put the 2 Live Crew on and tried to get him to do it. He didn't go for it. So in all points he was tempted, but he sinned not. Nothing new under the sun. Exactly. So there's nothing new under the sun. Let's get John chapter 10 and verse 1. So we need to follow his steps. And if we follow his steps, we'll end up in the same place that he is at. You do the opposite, you're going to be in the other place.
Yehukanan, chapter 10 and verse 1. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that entered not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way.
This is saying, but climb up some other way. This means somebody else, they want to get there on their own. They don't want to go the way that he got set up for you. They want to get there on their own way. He says, but if you climb up any other way, how does this go back to the law? First 5 books. Yeah? Read that verse again.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that entered not by the door into the sheepfold,
because he is the door, read,
but climb up some other way.
Climb up some other way.
The same is a thief and a robber.
Just go back to Nimrod. Trying to climb up some other kind of way. You don't want to follow the directions that's laid before you. The way to get in, no matter what it is, if you don't follow the directions, you don't get in. So imagine if Nimrod and them had to climb to the top, right? And bust a hole in it. What would have happened? Water would have came in and drowned them all over again. And he just told you, I want to drown the world no more. They tried to get up there another way. All right? Let's get James chapter 1. Do anybody believe that the Father really knows what he's doing? Do you believe that the Father really knows what he's doing? He knows exactly what he's doing. So if he says something, he's not just saying it just to say it. So when the Messiah come over here and say something, he only repeating what was given to him. He know what he's doing. James chapter 1, pick it up at verse 12.
James chapter 1 and verse 12. Increased is the man that endured temptation.
That is what?
Endured temptation.
So increased or blessed is the man that endured temptations. Read.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yahuwah hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim.
Let no man do what?
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim.
So when you get tempted, don't say, man, the Most High tested me. No, that ain't him. That's not him doing that. Read.
For Elohim cannot be tempted with evil.
He's not tempted with evil, or read.
Neither tempt he any man.
Neither tempt he any man. Read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
His own what?
His own lust.
His own lust. So it's something inside of you that'll cause you to do this. Not nothing that he put on you, but it's something within you that's going to cause you to do this. And we're going to find out. I've been asking this question on the book. What's your greatest desire? Right? So everybody coming with these scripted answers. To get into the kingdom, to walk like, yeah. That's not it. I mean, that goes without saying. But it's so specific. Right. That's why I switched it up, the question around. Before you got into this truth, what was your greatest desire? Then I wanted to be a model. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. Now we get the true answers. Because it's something that still everybody desires. Right now, if anybody could be more beautiful, would you take it? Is everybody happy with, I want to be more, you don't want to be no more beautiful than you are, no more handsome than you are, you straight.
Man, if y'all don't get out of here. How many of y'all put on makeup? How many of y'all get your hair done all up? Nothing. Man, how many of y'all get cut up with the fades, you know what I'm saying? You know.
So you're telling me right now, and it's not a sin.
Yeah, man.
And the Most High say, I'm going to make you exactly how you want to be made. Whatever it is that you think will make you more beautiful, the way that you're working out for a reason, because you want something to look a certain kind of way, and you running and you eating a certain thing because you want to look a certain kind of way. So you're telling me right now, the Most High come down and say, I'm going to give you what you desire. And it's not a sin. Y'all say, I'm good.
You take it?
I'm all in.
You gonna take it?
Take the pain away. You think that's all I ask?
Hey, that's a good one.
You gonna take it? That's the only people that's gonna take it?
I want my hair back.
You want your hair back? Okay. Look, you rephrase the question. They're gonna real answers come back. Oh my God.
Shoot, man. That's the truth.
Yeah, you will take it.
So, we got people that go all out to try to make themselves more beautiful, right? But we gonna see today that even if you was perfect in beauty, it wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be enough. Exactly. Because they gonna still, somebody gonna come along and you gonna see, dang, her smile is prettier than mine. Oh man, her eyelashes back better than mine. Something always gonna be there. Straight up. No matter what it is, it'll never be enough. Let's get on 1 John chapter 2. 2 and 15.
All right, John. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world.
Do what?
Love not the world.
Love not the world. Easier said than done, but it's a must. Read.
Neither the things that are in the world.
Neither the things that are in the world. All the things is of the world. This is why he told us to come out of it. Read.
If any man love the world.
If any man what?
Love the world.
If any man love the world. Read.
The love of the Father is not in him.
Wow. The love of the Father is not in him. If you love the world or the things in the world, ponder that. It says the love of the Father is not in you. Read.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh.
The what?
The lust of the flesh.
The lust of the flesh. That's the answer that Doc gave. When I said, what would keep you from keeping the commandments? He said, the flesh don't want to do it. Read.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye.
The lust of what?
The lust of the eyes.
The lust of the eyes. Read.
And the pride of life.
And the pride of life. Go ahead.
Is not of the Father, but is of the world.
It's not of the Father, but it's of the world. So he said the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes. What got Eve in trouble? The eyes, right? She desired something. Right? Let's go back there and see. This is how it goes back to the law. As we see, everything goes back to the law. Once you know the law, nobody can deceive you on no points, in no way, shape, or form. Genesis chapter 3, and pick it up at verse 4.
Genesis, or Bereshit, chapter 3 and verse 4. And the serpent said to the woman, you shall certainly not die.
You shall what?
You shall certainly not die.
You shall certainly not die. No, they know better than this, right? It was told them to, because Eve already quoted it pretty much verbatim. She added one word into it, but they know better. It's no excuse. You know better. Read.
For Elohim knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened.
Your what?
Your eyes shall be opened.
Your eyes shall be opened, and what?
And you shall be like Elohim.
You shall be like Elohim. So right here, somebody tell you, come, you say, Trav, man, I got this stuff, bro, these pills, and you take it for 60 days straight, and you drink a gallon of water with these pills, bro, you will be just like the Most High. There was a movie that came out, it was called Limitless. And they would take this pill, and dude's understanding just increased phenomenally. He was like, oh, God. I remember this when I was 3. And it came back to his mind. A lot of people will fall for this, right?
Yep.
I'll be like the Most High. I'm telling you, bro, you will be swole. You will be faster, man. You will be able to dunk. You will be, whatever it is that you want, these pills are doing.
Only 60 days?
60 days, drink a gallon of water, and guess what? We'll put you on a payment plan. $39 a month, we can get them. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. If you do it today, we'll throw in an extra bottle.
Have you done anything?
Yep. Is it? 3 easy payments. Easy payments. They ain't hard, they easy.
I spent $40 on chips and candy in a month.
Knock off your first payment.
Right. See how you're tricky, you play on the mind. You could be like the Most High with these. Read.
What was it?
3 and
Verse 6?
And number 5.
Verse 5. For Elohim knows that in the day that you eat of it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil.
Knowing what?
Good and evil.
Knowing good and evil. So before this, they didn't know nothing about no evil, right?
They didn't even know about good.
Because everything was quote unquote good. Like the Most High said. And I thought it was good after you created this. And it was good. So they had no idea of nothing being bad. Right? Read.
And the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
She did what?
She saw that the tree was good for food.
The lust of the eyes. Read.
And it was pleasant to the eyes.
Pleasant. It's beautiful. Read.
And a tree to be desirable, to make one wise.
To be what?
To make one wise.
A tree to be desired. Somebody look that word desire up for me. What does it mean? Remember, it says, let no man say when he is tempted of the Most High. For it is your own lust that tempts you and draws you away. That's what James was talking about. Now let's see what this word desire means.
Desire. Chamad.
Go ahead.
It means to desire, to covet.
To what?
To covet.
To covet. Don't we have a commandment that tells us that you shall not covet. Right? Read another one then.
Take pleasure.
To do what?
Take pleasure in it.
To take pleasure in. So when you desire something, you covet it. And when you covet something, you start putting in the work to attain it. Right? They tell us in basketball, it's the most coveted prize in sports, this trophy. So when these Golden State got this trophy right now, right? Every team is trying their hardest and practicing and spending a lot of money. And those guys is lifting weights and they running and they training because they covet that trophy and they want to take it from them.
So far, it ain't working.
Huh?
It ain't working so far.
You be watching sports, brother? I just man. You know how to catch me, man.
Right. Covet. All right. Let's read. Go back to verse 6 again.
Bereshit, or Genesis, chapter 3. Hold it down, y'all. In verse 6. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate.
And she did eat. So she already know better, but she desired to be wise, and she desired to be like the Most High. In this, she lost all common sense. Right? This is what your desire will do to you. It will make you lose all common sense. Everything will go out the window. You will know better than to do it, but you will do it anyway because it's something inside of you that's called lust or your desire. Gonna make you go against the law. And as soon as you get into your desire, you have strayed away from the way. You have veered off. You have went crooked. Now you are not following the Messiah's steps anymore. You're on your own because you forsake the instructions. You're not walking in the instructions anymore. So we don't see time and time again that somebody's desire caused them to get out of the way or to stop following the path or the way. All right? Let's get Matthew chapter 5.
Sister Wanda, this is Matik Yahoo right here. Matik Yahoo.
Matter of fact, hold that. Let's get Exodus chapter 20, verse 14. Exodus 20, 14.
Shemot chapter 20, or Exodus chapter 20, and verse 14. You shall not commit adultery.
You shall what?
You shall not commit adultery.
You shall not commit adultery. What did Adam and Eve do right there in that chapter? Commit adultery. They went after another God. Jump to verse 17.
Verse 17. You shall not covet your neighbor's house.
You shall what?
Not covet your neighbor's house.
Hamashiach lived in there with them, right? They wanted to be like who? You just broke that because you was coveting. You wanted to be more than what you are. And you didn't want to go through the process to get there. You wanted to jump steps just like I do it. They looked down and saw screws on the ground. Dang, what are extra screws doing? Because they didn't follow the directions.
They looked and see they didn't have no clothes on.
Exactly. So adultery right there and coveting right there to commandments. Matthew chapter 5.
Matik Yahoo chapter 5.
And that word desire, one of the words is to covet. Matthew 5 and 27.
Matik Yahoo, or Matthew chapter 5 and verse 27. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not commit adultery.
You shall what?
Not commit adultery.
We just read this out of the law. Read.
But I say unto you, that whosoever look on a woman,
Whoso what?
look on a woman,
Whosoever look on a woman. That's the lust of the eyes. Right back again, right? Read.
to lust after her, hath committed adultery within her heart. Hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
In his heart. Where was the laws originally supposed to be written?
In your heart.
In the heart, right? So why did he say this about if you look on a woman? Anybody, if you even look on a woman to lust after her? Where?
That's just said with lust.
Okay, with lust. All right.
Like
Can
David.
we-
Like David.
Like David. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. We go back to both. Let's get 2 Samuel 11. 2 Samuel 11. Pick it up at verse 2.
2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening time that David arose from his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house.
So David taking a nice kingly stroll on the rooftop, right? He the king, he's rich. Taking a nice little stroll with his shirt off. Oh man, it's hot out here. Go ahead.
And from the roof he saw a woman.
He did what?
He saw a woman.
He saw, his eyes saw what?
Saw a woman
Go ahead.
washing herself.
She was doing what?
Washing herself.
She was washing herself. So what should David do right here?
Back in the house.
Go back in the house. He said,
About face. Run.
And he was
right? So we know right here what David should have actually done. But it's this little thing called desire. Read.
And the woman was very beautiful to look on.
She was what?
Very beautiful to look on.
Very beautiful to look on. Read.
And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
The who?
The daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?
The wife of Uriah the Hittite. Now he know off the rip that this is somebody's wife. It's not a single woman. They told him off the rip. That's Uriah's wife. He know it, right? Read.
And David sent messengers and took her.
He did what?
David sent messengers and took her.
David sent messengers and took her. Go ahead, read.
And David sent messengers and took her. And she came in unto him.
So imagine, this is David, right? The king. So imagine, she already knows she in the wrong in the first place. She walking up. Oh, David walked me. What the way he walked.
she knows she was in Bird's Eye View.
I wonder where David walked. You know what's going on. Read.
And David sent messengers and took her. And she came in unto him. And he lay with her.
And he did what?
And he lay with her.
Oh, David, no. He did what?
And he lay with her.
He laid with her. Read.
For she was purified from her uncleanness. And she returned unto her house.
And she returned to her house. Now, if we keep reading this, you'll see just how bad David fell off in this instance. Right? Exactly. She didn't cry out because she wanted it. Just like he did. She already knew. She wanted it just like David did.
Both of us.
So through his desire, David just broke the commandments. But do we have any excuse?
No.
No. Get Deuteronomy 17 and 18.
Deuteronomy, or Devarim, chapter 17 and verse 18. And it shall be, when he sit upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites.
So we know that all kings are commanded to write a copy of the law down. Therefore, they're supposed to study it day and night. David knew this. No excuse. He's the king. He got the book. He know what he's doing. But what happened to him? The flesh got him. His desire overtook him and made him do something that he knew he wasn't supposed to do. Then it's so bad, we ain't gonna go through it, but he tried to cover it up, which made him a liar and breaking more commandments. Exactly. End up getting this guy killed. So we see the great King David let his desires completely overwhelm him and cause all of this problems, which we're going to read about a little bit later. Let's move forward. Let's get on 1 Kings chapter 3. Showing how your desire will cause you to stray from the way, from the path to follow. 1 Kings chapter 3. We're going to pick it up at verse 7.
1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 7. And now, Yahuwah, my Elohim, you have made your servant king instead of David, my father. And I am but a little child.
I am what?
I am but a little child.
I am but a little child. Read.
I know not how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, which you have chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered, nor counted for multitude.
All right, hold on right there. Now, what can we see? How does Solomon compare to Adam and Eve, or to Eve?
Desire for wisdom.
Smart man. Desire for wisdom, anything else? All right. You're right, though. You're right. The desire for wisdom. Read. Verse 9.
Verse 9. Give therefore your servant an understanding heart to judge your people.
Now, what's the difference? Solomon wants wisdom for what? To judge the people. He don't want it to be like the Most High. He wanted so he can judge in righteousness. But Adam and Eve was where? They was in the paradise, right? Solomon was given the kingdom, money to no end. So in a sense, he had the same thing that they had, which was like a paradise within itself, because he had all the money and everything. Read.
Give therefore your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and bad.
Good and what?
Good and evil.
Good and evil. So what? Adam and Eve, they couldn't decipher between good and evil, but Solomon let you know, I want to be able to tell the difference between good and evil. Read.
For who was able to judge this, your so great a people? And the speech pleased the Most High, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Elohim said unto him, because you have asked this thing, and have not asked for yourself long life.
Long life. I want to live forever. Read.
Neither ask neither has asked riches for yourself.
Neither have you asked riches for yourself. Anybody ever prayed to the Most High for some money? I prayed to be rich before. Just make me the greatest rapper ever, Father. And give me all of my. I prayed that before. Complete folly. Read.
Nor has asked the life of your enemies.
Oh, I could just take that nigga out. He didn't ask for the life of his enemy. None of it. Read.
But has asked for yourself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your word. Lo, I have given you a wise and understanding heart.
A wise and understanding heart. Read.
So that there was none like you before you, neither shall any arise like unto you. And I have also given you that which you have not asked.
And he gave him what he didn't ask for. Because he didn't ask for it, I'm going to give you this. Read.
Both riches.
Both what?
Both riches.
Both riches and what else?
And honor.
Both riches and honor. Read.
So that there shall not be any among the kings like unto you all your days.
All your days. Now, what are, not these righteous sisters, but what are the other women mostly attracted to? And what else? Power. Solomon had all of them. Right? Solomon had all of them. Riches, power, honor, the whole nine. So imagine how it was for them. They pop it up out of everywhere for them. Coming from afar.
Y'all heard about that Solomon guy?
Ooh-wee.
About to go get him.
You got them bushy locks. So just imagine this guy. He's that guy. He got even more than his father. Right? He's that dude. When Solomon come through, it's like that Halle Berry walking past the construction workers or something.
That's Solomon with that white horse out there. That black streak on it.
Right. Exactly. So this guy got it all, right? But how did Solomon get his wisdom?
Yeah.
Prayed for, right? How did Adam and Eve try to go about getting theirs? Tried to climb up another way. They tried to get it. But if we want wisdom, how should we get it? Pray. Should we go into the Jewish encyclopedia and get it? Should we go into the 1905? What's that encyclopedia everybody knows what he's talking about? Yeah, should we go in there to get it? Let's see how we should get it. James chapter 1 verse 5. James chapter 1 and verse 5.
James chapter 1 and verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom,
If any what?
if any of you lack wisdom,
If you lack wisdom, if you want to understand the topic, if you want to understand what the book is talking about, this is what you should do. Read.
if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask.
Let him do what?
Let him ask.
That's what Solomon did. He asked. He prayed. That's how he got his wisdom. Read.
Of Elohim, that give to all men.
To who?
To all men.
No, just to Solomon.
To all men.
To all men. So if you seek in wisdom and you want to understand something, ask the Father. I didn't make this up. This is what the book says. Ask the Father and he'll give it to you. How much?
That give to all men liberally.
Liberally. What does the word liberally mean?
Freely.
Freely. You don't have to pay no money. This is how you get wisdom. Ask for it. Instead of trying to go some other kind of way and you saw something on the side of the screen, this will make you smarter. And this, no, that's not it. Don't do that. Just do what the book says. Right? Let's get 1 Kings 11. First Kings 11, and pick it up at verse 1.
1 Kings 11 and 1.
Oh, what verse did we stop off in chapter 3? Of what? In Kings.
13.
And 15?
13.
13? Matter of fact, go back to pick it up and to read that last verse. Pick it up at verse 13 again.
Verse 13. This is 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 13. And I've also given you that which you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto you all your days. And if you will walk in my ways.
You will do what?
Walk in my ways.
Walk in my ways. Here go them directions again, them instructions. Read.
To keep my statutes.
To do what?
To keep my statutes.
Read.
And my commandments. As your father David did walk. Then I will lengthen your days.
I will do what?
Lengthen your days.
I will lengthen your days. So Solomon gets a promise with his. If you walk like David, your father, I will lengthen your days. What law does this go back to? What commandment does this go back to? Honor your mother and your father. Y'all smart. Right? So let's jump over to 1 Kings. He said to walk in my ways. 11. 1 Kings 11 and verse 1.
1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 1.
Now remember, Solomon is that dude. He pull up on that white horse. He got the jewels, the whole line, right? Read.
But King Solomon loved many strange women.
He did what?
Loved many strange women.
King Solomon loved many strange women. Read.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahuwah said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart.
They will do what?
They will turn away your heart.
They will turn away your heart. He was warned and told not to do this. Read.
After their gods, Solomon clave unto these in love.
Go ahead.
And he had 700 wives.
How many?
700 wives.
This don't even seem possible. 700. But this is the guy walking with the theme music. Theme everywhere. It's Solomon coming. Right here, told directly not to do this, blinded him, his desire, all the things, even though the Most High gave him this stuff, it caused his ruins. Even though he gave him, because he didn't ask, these things cost Solomon everything. Split the kingdom up. All of these things because of Solomon. Read.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines.
300 concubines. They noticed, I'll be the 1,001. I'm okay with it.
I just want to be in the house.
And see, now I know the women think like, I went to bed me? Yes, you would. Yes, you would. It's Solomon.
That's the one with the white horse outside.
You got 22 on that one.
It's women out here that do it with a dude that look like this hat. We talking about
Good ahead. Exactly. This 1,000, and you know they know about it. All the rest of them, they know. Hey, I'm 998. But he that guy. Straight up.
Will Chamberlain.
Right. Solomon made all of them feel like they was the only one.
Right. Well, I mean, I know he just be with y'all, but he really like me. I'm his main one. No, you not. Read that verse 4.
Verse 4. When it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart.
He did what?
Turned away his heart.
And it says when he was old. What did they say about that?
Ain't no fool like old fool.
Ain't no fool like an old fool. So he wait until he gets old to get off the path. Now he want to sew up at the stuff. I still got it. No, you know better, man. You know better.
Solomon, don't you just want to build me a temple to my God? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I got you. Read.
For Solomon, that his wives turned away his heart from after their gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahuwah, his Elohim, and was the heart as was the heart of David, his father.
As was the heart of his father David. So we know David went off on a couple of things, but his heart was still after the father, which we're going to show a little bit later in this. All right? Hold that. In fact, just get Ecclesiastes chapter 2. So this is the message. This is after Solomon had committed these follies. This is what the message is he leaves for us to look at. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, pick it up at verse 7.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 7.
So no matter how much time we look at Cribs and all of these shows, you can't do it no bigger than Solomon was doing it. No matter what. You can't do it no better. You can't have the gold ain't as pure. You can't do it like Solomon was doing it. Nobody. Bill Gates, whoever, you got a house built in the side of the mountain, it don't compare to what Solomon was doing. Read.
I got me servants and maids, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions.
How many?
Great possessions.
Great possessions. Read.
Of great and small. Cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me.
So he got cattle and all these things in abundance. Read.
I gathered me also silver and gold.
He did what?
I gathered me also silver and gold.
He gathered silver and gold. Keep these in mind. He got all these cattle and he gathered silver and gold, which he was already given these things. Read.
And the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts.
All sorts. He got Anita Baker and them singing in there for him. Johnny Gill, whoever it is, R. Kelly, them, they singing for him. He got it. Jill Scott, whoever it is. Read.
So I was great. And
it was what?
I was great.
He was great. He was feeling himself.
I was the man.
Right? He feeling himself. That's what he's saying. I was great. He making his own statement himself. Read.
And increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem.
Nobody's balling like me. Nobody ain't blinging like me. Read.
Also, my wisdom remained with me.
I'm still wise. Solomon, the dude, just be walking and see an ant. Look at the ant. How it works. How they come together and build a city. If you guys can just do it. The guy got wisdom out. Read.
And whatsoever my eyes desired.
What?
Whatsoever my eyes
The
desired.
lust of the eyes. He said, whatsoever my eyes desired or coveted or lusted after, read.
I kept not from them.
I kept not from them. So when he saw a woman that he wanted, I keep nothing from my eyes. I want her. Bring her to me. Read.
I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor.
Read.
And this was my portion of all my labor.
This was my portion of all my labor. Read.
Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, it was all vanity.
It was what?
All was vanity.
So now that he done got old and he know that he done messed up, now he reflecting back on it and showing you, no matter how much of this stuff you get, no matter who tell you that you're the greatest, it's all vanity. It's nothing. This is what he's trying to show you. This is nothing. Read.
All was vanity and vexation of ruach.
Vexation of ruach. Read.
And there was no profit under the sun.
Go ahead.
And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that come after the king?
What can anybody do like me? That's gonna come. Who gonna outdo me? That's what I've done. Nobody. Read.
Even that which had been already done. Then I saw the wisdom excel folly, as far as light excel darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walk in darkness.
The fool walks in darkness. So when your desire, remember, it blinds you from everything. All common sense goes out the window, and you right walking in darkness. Read.
And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all.
Read.
Then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool,
As it happened to who?
as it happened to the fool,
Solomon is the most wisest man, right? Read.
so it happened even to me.
So it happened even to me. So he's showing you his desire overtook him. He knew this because he's a king as well. So he had the right what?
The law.
He had to write the law too. So Solomon knows better the same way. He knows better the same way. But through his desire, through these things that he got, it made him stray from the path. Alright? Let's get 2 Samuel chapter 12. 2 Samuel chapter 12.
Can't say it.
2 Samuel chapter 12. And we'll pick it up at verse 7.
Second Samuel chapter 12 and verse 7. And Nathan said to David, you are the man. Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you out of the hand of Saul, and I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom.
So even though Solomon had the kingdom, the whole nine, by him straying away, this David, by him straying away, this is what he calls. Read.
And gave you the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto you such and such things.
Such and such, whatever it is that you desired, as long as it was righteous, I would have gave it to you. Read.
Wherefore have you despised the commandment of Yahuwah, to do evil in his sight? You have killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and have taken his wife to be your wife, and have slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore, the sword shall never depart from your house.
So since David did these things, this is what's coming back on him. He said the sword shall never depart. So we don't see what David's sin caused. Read.
Because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife, Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will raise up evil against you.
I will do what?
I will raise up evil against you.
I will raise up evil against you. Read.
Out of your own house.
Out of what?
Out of your own house.
Out of your own house. Can we go back to the law and sow evil in somebody's own house? What you say? No, we talk to the law. That too, Cain and Abel, Joseph and his brothers, they all despised him. Evil in your own house. This is why Mashiach said that it's going to be foes of your own house. Read.
Behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes.
I will do what?
I will take your wives before your eyes.
Take your wives before your eyes. Read.
And give them unto your neighbor.
Read.
And he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this son.
So all because David did what he did, because he let his desire take him, and he looked off that roof and he saw Uriah's wife, and he inquired and brought her, got her pregnant the whole nine, got Uriah killed. All of this stuff right here is going to befall him. Any of y'all know anything about Absalom? Anybody else know anything about Absalom? This is a, say what?
The son, he took his father's wife in the sight of all.
Absolutely. This is going into Absalom. This is a real profound story. Right? And a lot of people probably read it, but they missed out a whole lot of stuff in this story. So because David just did these things, this is what's about to come on him. Read verse 12. Yeah, pick it up at verse 11 again.
Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house. I will take your wives before your eyes, and give them unto your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this son. For you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel.
So David did what he did in secret, but he said, I'm going to do it in front of everybody. I will let everybody know. Read.
And before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yahuwah. And Nathan said unto David, Yahuwah also hath put away your sin. You shall not die.
You shall not die. But you ain't going to die. But you going to pay for it. Nearly every day that you alive, you going to know what you did. Because you got a book of the law. You my great anointed king. And you went astray. You got off the path. You lost the directions or the instructions in how to walk. So since you did that, I got to get you. I got to make an example out of you. Let's get 2 Samuel 13. Pick it up at verse 1.
2 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister.
You had what?
A fair sister.
So I'm gonna just, since we ain't going to read all of this, Absalom had a fair sister, and she had a brother named Amnon. Her brother was sick in the head, and he raped her. So when we watch a lot of this stuff on like Jerry Springer, and we think like, man, them doggone white folks is crazy. Our people was doing this stuff. Our own people was doing this sick stuff. Read.
And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shimeah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man.
He was a subtle man. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said unto her.
So he devised a plan to get his sister to come. He acted like he was sick. He devised a plan to get his sister to come and bring him something to eat. Read.
And and said unto her, come lie with me, my sister.
Come do what?
Come lie with me, my sister.
This dude Desire is completely sick. But let no man say when he is tempted of the Most High. It's your own evil inside of you that causes you to do it. He's so sick, he's trying to lay with his own sister. Read.
And she answered him, no, my brother.
No, my brother. Read.
Do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not you this folly.
Don't do this folly. Read.
And I, whether shall I cause my shame to go? And as for you, you shall be one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray you, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from you. Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but, being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her.
He did what?
Forced her and lay with her.
Just go right back to your desire. Read.
Then Ammon hated her exceedingly.
He did what?
Hated her exceedingly.
Now all of a sudden, you hate your sister. Get up.
Come on now.
So as soon as it's over with, he hated her exceedingly. So it's past hate. Whatever that is. Read.
So that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her.
Wow. Complete turnaround. One minute you love it and you so infatuated, you sleep with her and force her. As soon as it's over with, now you hate her more than you love her. Desire. Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, have Ammon your brother been with you? But hold now your peace, my sister. He is your brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house.
Go ahead.
When King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth.
Go ahead.
And Absalom spake unto his brother Ammon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Ammon.
He did what?
He hated Ammon.
He hated Ammon.
Because he forced his sister Tamar.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shears in Baal Hazor, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold now, your servant hath sheep shears. Let the king, I beseech you, and his servants go with your servant.
So now Absalom is devising a plan to kill this guy. Jump down to verse 28.
Verse 28. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, mark you now, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine.
Was what?
Was merry with wine.
Notice always to be talking about, and the people was merry and drinking. Always something happened. Read.
And when I say unto you, smite Amnon, then kill him. Fear not. Had not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant.
So he said, command him. When you see him, kill him. How is Absalom breaking the law? He plotted murder. He's supposed to do everything by what? 2 or 3 witnesses. Right? Tamar didn't cry out when this thing took place. He's the son of the king, so raise up a child, right? He should know this, right? It's supposed to be both of them. Exactly, it's supposed to be both. Let's see, Leviticus 18 and 9. Hold this, we coming back over here.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 9. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness shall you not uncover.
So Amnon, right here, broke this. You weren't supposed to do this. He know better. You the son of the king, you know. Leviticus 20:17.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 17. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing.
It is what?
It is a wicked thing.
This is a wicked thing, read.
And they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He hath uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity.
He shall bear his iniquity. Deuteronomy 32, 35.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 35. To me belong vengeance.
To who?
To me belong vengeance.
So Yah says, to me belongs vengeance. Absalom just did what? He took vengeance in his own hands. You breaking the law. Finish that out.
To me belong vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand. And the thing that shall come upon them, make haste.
Make what?
Make haste.
Make haste. 2 Samuel 13 and 38.
2 Samuel chapter 13 and verse 38. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur.
He did what?
Fled and went to Geshur.
So after he done got his brother, well not his brother, but Abner killed, he fled and went where?
And went to Geshur and was there 3 years.
Go ahead.
And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was confident concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead.
So Amnon fled after he did this. Give me Proverbs 28:1. We're coming back over here to this 2 Samuel. Proverbs 28:1.
Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee when no man pursue.
Even though nobody is chasing Absalom, he fleeing. Read it again.
The wicked flee when no man pursue.
The wicked flee when no man pursue. How does this go back to the law? Verse 5. Yeah, somewhat. It's a direct case of it though. Yeah, it's a direct case of it. It's a direct case. That do go into it as well. Because he said we'll be running from a second leaving. Let's see. Genesis chapter 4. Pick it up at verse 13.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 13. And Cain said unto Yahuwah, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth. And from your face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
So Cain is the one who fleeing when nobody is pursuing him. The wicked flee when no one pursues. He's scared and nobody was there to chase him. This is where this is actually coming from. So far, what can y'all gather about Absalom? What do y'all think about this guy so far? From what we read in these couple of verses about him. He took vengeance into his own hands. Yeah, exactly. He's definitely evil. He's definitely evil. Anything else? All right, let's go back. 2 Samuel 14. Nope. Verse 25.
Second Samuel chapter 14 and verse 25. But in all Israel there was none to be such praised as Absalom.
There was what?
None to be such praised as Absalom for his beauty.
For his what?
For his beauty.
So it's letting us know something about this guy's character. Remember I asked you all about the beauty thing, right? It says, but in all Israel there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. So keep this in mind. This guy is a stunner. Right? Read.
From the sole of his foot.
From where?
From the sole of his foot.
From the sole of his foot. Read.
Even to the crown of his head. There was no blemish in him.
There was what in him? So this guy
Was that guy?
is that guy. Right? So he's got the beauty, which I was asking y'all about, right? He got it. He's the son of the king, right? Exactly. You got it all. You in, for quote unquote, paradise. You in the kingdom. And he's beautiful. From the sole of the feet to the top of his head.
Women was on his head too.
Exactly. Read.
And when he pulled his head, for it was at every year's end that he pulled it.
So this means to cut his hair. His hair was super long. Read.
Because the hair was heavy on him. Therefore he pulled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight.
After the king's weight. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this weighed about 6 pounds. So this guy hair was super long and it was super heavy and it grew back like this. He cut it once a year. So keep in mind, this guy's beautiful and he got super long hair. What kind of guy he sound like now? So took vengeance in his own hands. Super long hair, beautiful the whole nine. Right, he was that guy. So a lot of beautiful people. Now nobody in here is rotten people, right? To tell the truth. A lot of beautiful people are rotten people.
Except for me. You know what I'm saying?
He said it, not me. Because you think your beauty can get you out of anything, right?
How many women got out of tickets?
Right, you think your beauty can do anything, but beauty is vain. Right? Fades away after a while. Right? But this guy got it. So I'm going to try to keep this in mind. Beauty. Read verse 26 again.
Verse 26. And when he pulled his head, for it was at every year's end that he pulled it, because the hair was heavy on him. Therefore he pulled it. He weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels after the king's weight.
Now, who would think that I'm going to cut my hair and I'm going to weigh it? For what? For what? But it's absolute. I've got to weigh my hair. Wow, my hair weighs 6 pounds. That's complete. Just throw it away, like everybody else do.
I'm gonna sell it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is Israel we talking about, right? The origin of the weed. This guy just figured out the origin of the weed. Wow. Just got it. Absalom is the first one to sell a weed. Wow. Yeah, nothing to do with no horse hair. He was selling his hair, selling it in weight. Wow, that boy Absalom something else.
It was expensive, like Remy. Brazilian.
So y'all think he's a pretty boy now, and hot head, get you killed in a second, right? Jump over to 2 Samuel 15, verse 1.
2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 1. And it came to pass after this, that Absalom prepared him the chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him.
To do what?
To run before him.
So this guy got chariots and horses, and he got 50 men to run before him. So every time he came somewhere, He got these soldiers running before him. Absalom is coming. Absalom is coming. What do y'all take of him now? We just add stuff onto him.
Conceited.
Proud, big head, the whole nine, right? Got the playing, got the marching band playing. Absalom is coming. Super, super arrogant, super big headed, right? Read that verse again.
And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, Of what city are you? And he said, Your servant is one of the tribes of Israel.
So what do you think Absalom ultimately wants to be? The what? The king. But who's the king? His father is. So would you think that he want to do something to his daddy and take over the king? See? Wow. Now think about somebody else in scripture that was under the king and wants to take his position. Can y'all think of anybody else like that in the scripture? Who is it? Wow. So we got this guy who wants to take his father's position. Satan is the same way.
And beautiful.
And beautiful. Keep all of them in mind. I'm supposed to have been writing these joints down, but y'all can catch on. But we good. Beautiful, right? Soul of the head, hot head, the whole nine. He wants to be the king. But in order to be the king, what has to happen? The king gotta die. I gotta knock you off. Wow. And your desire to be the king, could you imagine Shiloh saying, my daddy trapped the king. I want the spot. I got to kill him. Can't
in this
even
world?
Can't say.
No, I couldn't imagine it though.
My baby boy said, my daddy is it. I got to take my own daddy down so I can take it. I can't just wait for it to come. I'm going to take him out. This is what's going on right now. Through his desire, through his wants to be the man. Pick it up in verse 3.
2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 3. And Absalom said unto him, See, your matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear you. Absalom said, Moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land.
Oh, the what?
Oh, that I were made judge in the land.
See, if I was in charge, it'll be like this. See what I'm saying? It ain't nothing, it ain't nobody out here to do this. But if I was the guy, I would do this. I would do this. And he's talking against his own father. Read.
Absalom said, Moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice.
I would do what?
I would do him justice.
So in other words, he's saying, David ain't doing justice. David ain't running this right. I don't like the way it's being ran over here, so same thing in heaven. I don't like the way the Most High running this. I want to take over it. I want to be the man. I need to overthrow him. Read.
And it was so. And when any man came near to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him.
Did what?
And he took him and kissed him.
Took him and did what?
And kissed him.
Read.
And on this matter did Absalom to all Israel.
To who?
That to all Israel.
To all Israel. Read.
That came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel.
He did what?
Stole the hearts of the men of Israel.
So Absalom then came in and stole the hearts of the people. Think his beauty got anything to do with it? Stole the hearts of the people. Talking against David. Stole the hearts. Y'all think Satan done something similar? Absolutely. Read.
And it came to pass, after 40 years, that Absalom said unto the king, I pray you, let me go and pay my vow which I have vowed unto Yahuwah in Hebron.
Another slick and clever plan of him. Jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, and Gileadite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Galo, when he offered sacrifices, and the conspiracy was strong.
The what?
The conspiracy was strong.
The conspiracy was strong. What is a conspiracy? It's a plot. And usually when you plot, how is your voice tone when you plot? Right? Because it's a secret. You don't want nobody to hear it. Except for the immediate people that surround you.
Really? But the people increased continually with Absalom.
So more and more people is now turning from David and going to Absalom. Following him because he stole the hearts of the people. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. And the king went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women, which were concubines, to keep the house.
He did what?
He left 10 women, which were concubines, to lead the house.
He left 10 women, which was concubines. How many versions is it in the New Testament?
10.
10. Read.
And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in a place that was far off. And all his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittites, 600 men which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then,
jump down to verse 30.
Verse 30. And David went up by the ascent of the mount of Mount Olive, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered.
He did what?
Had his head covered.
He had his head covered. Read. What did he do when he get up there?
And he went barefoot, and all the people that was with him covered every man his head.
So David got his head covered, and all the people that's with him got their head covered. What did they do up there?
And they went up, weeping as they went up. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom.
So his own counselor, one of his right-hand men, has joined on with Absalom. Read.
And David said, O Yahuwah, I pray you.
I do what?
I pray you.
Wait a minute. David praying with his head covered? Wow. Something
cut off his connection with the moon.
His antenna was cut off?
Yes, sir.
Wow, read that again.
And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Yahuwah, I pray you, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness.
Turn it into foolishness. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshipped Elohim, behold, Hushai the Archite came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head.
So Absalom got a plan now. He's trying to kill David, his own father. Please go back and read this whole story when you get time. 2 Samuel 16. And verse 5.
2 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 5. And when King David came to behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gerath. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David.
He did what?
Cast stones at David.
He cast stones at David. Read.
And at all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left.
Go ahead.
And thus said Shimei, when he had cursed, come out, you bloody man, and you man of Belial.
You man of Belial. He just called David the man of Belial. They called Amasiah a man of Belial as well. Read.
Yahuwah hath returned upon you all the blood of the house of Shaul, in whose stead you have reigned. And Yahuwah hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom your son. And behold, you are taken to your mischief, because you are a bloody man.
You are a bloody man. Read.
Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my master?
He said,
why should this dead dog curse my master the king?
call this man a dead dog. Why should he curse my master the king? Read.
Man, let me go over and take off his head.
Let me go and take off his head. Who did it sound like in the New Testament? Peter. Bowed it. I'll cut your ear off, boy.
And that's just to let you know. Back up.
Right there, ready to get him. Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And the king said, what have I to do with you, you son of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because Yahuwah hath said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore have you done so? And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son which came forth of my bowels.
He said what?
Which came forth of my bowels.
My son which came forth of my bowels. What is he trying to do?
Seek my life?
He do what?
Seek my life?
He seeks my life. With Satan, at one point, we consider the Most High's son. He created him, right? Just like he created everybody else. So his son, just like this, the same thing. So y'all can look at this story as David being the Most High and Absalom being Satan. We're going to keep showing. Read.
How much more now may this Benjamite do? Let him alone. Let him curse. For Yahuwah hath bidden him. It may be that Yahuwah will look on my affliction, and that Yahuwah will requite me good for his cursing this day. And David and his men went by the way. Shimei went along the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went.
Cursed as he went. Read.
And threw stones at him, and cast dust.
Alright, so now, what do you take of Absalom? Now, what do y'all put on him? How do y'all view him now? From the things that we read so far. Complete wicked, right? He wants to be, he's beautiful. He wants to be the king. Greedy, murderer, and he wants to be the king. Who got these same attributes? Exactly. The same exact attributes. Involved in a conspiracy. Meaning secret plan. Alright? We coming back over here. Let's go into the other guy. And some people say the same, but I'll let y'all determine who you think it is. Get me Ezekiel 28. And we're going to follow the precepts. Ezekiel 28:13.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, and verse 13.
But before we go, all of these things that Absalom are doing, the root of it is what? Desire. Exactly, because he really wants to be what his father is. Read.
You have been and eaten. This is Ezekiel 28:13. You have been and eaten the garden of Elohim. Every precious stone was your covering.
Every precious stone was your covering. Read.
The sardius, topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of your tabrets and of your pipes.
So we got tabrets and pipes in them. Instruments. Read.
Was prepared in you in the day that you were created.
Go ahead.
You are the anointed cherub that covered, and I have set you so. You was upon the Kodesh mountain of Elohim.
He was upon the Kodesh mountain. He was in the kingdom. Just like Absalom was in the kingdom. Read.
You has walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
He did what?
You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
What does it mean to walk up and down? To and fro, right? Hold what you got right there. Give me Job chapter 1. So it says he walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Job chapter 1, verse 6.
Job chapter 1, verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Shaitan came also among them.
So the sons of God and Satan came as well. Sound like he one of the sons, but he just went rogue. Read.
And Yahuwah said unto Shaitan, Whence cometh you?
Where are you coming from? What do you say?
Then Shaitan answered Yahuwah and said, From going to and fro.
Wow, the other one said that he walks up and down. This one says he goes to and fro, but it's the same thing.
And from walking up and down in it.
From walking up and down in it. Let's see if this is the same person. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Through our precepts we get understanding. 1 Peter 5 and 8.
First Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walked about, seeking whom he may devour.
Sounds like the same person, right? Constantly walking, moving around the whole time, back and forth, back and forth. If this was a woman that was walking back and forth, what would they call her? It is a whore, but they would call her a busybody or gossiper or something, right? Because you can't sit down. You just constantly back and forth. You're a busybody. Speak still. This is what Satan is. It's a busybody, constantly walking back and forth, causing conflict, causing strife, putting stuff out there. Let's get 1 Peter 4 and 15.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 15.
Remember Absalom said, oh, if I was the judge, it would be like this if I was in charge. They don't run it right. If I was in charge, it'll be like this. I can do a much better job than my father can. Read.
But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief.
Satan is a murderer and a thief. Read.
Or as an evildoer.
As a what?
An evildoer.
He's an evildoer. Read.
Or as a busybody.
As a what?
As a busybody.
Going back and forth, to and fro, up and down. That's a busybody. Can't sit down. And what do the busybody do?
Or as a busybody in other men's matters.
In other men's matters. What do they call Satan in Revelation? What does he do to the brethren? He accused them, right? Constantly dangle whatever it is your desire is in front of you, and then go and tell on you. See, look what he's doing. Constantly accusing you. He put it out there for you to get in trouble, then he goes snitch on you and tell the Father on you. Constantly accusing you. This is what he do. Back and forth. Let's go back to Ezekiel 28.
Ezekiel 28, verse 14. Again. You are the anointed cherub that covered. I have set you so. You was upon the Kodesh mountain of Elohim.
You was in the kingdom, read.
You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
Back and forth, back and forth.
You was perfect in your ways.
What was he?
You was perfect in your ways.
You was perfect in your ways, read.
From the day that you was created.
This perfect will take you to no blemish. Who had no blemish that was beautiful? Absalom, right? Read.
From the day that you was created till iniquity was found in you.
Till iniquity was found in you, read.
By the multitude of your merchandise.
By the multitude of your merchandise. So right here, when you go into this word merchandise, it's going to come out to like trafficking. But trafficking also means to move about, to go back and forth. So let's see what he really was doing as he was moving about. We know he was a busybody, always in other men's affairs. You got that? Read it.
The word is Rakula. Or Rakula. Wow, you just cut out. 1 second.
1 moment.
Rakula. The Brown Drivers Briggs, it says merchandise, traffic, trade.
Traffic, trade. Now get that other definition.
From recall, to go about.
To do what?
To go about.
To go about.
Dubious.
To move back and forth, up and down. So we know he was a busybody, always in people's affairs, plotting to take the Most High's spot, just like Absalom was plotting to take his father's spot. Let's go back to Ezekiel 28.
Ezekiel 28 and verse 16. By the multitude of your merchandise, they have filled the midst of you with violence.
They have filled the midst of you with violence. Read.
And you have sinned.
You what?
You have sinned.
Go ahead.
Therefore, I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Elohim.
He will do what to him?
I will cast you out. I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Elohim.
I will cast you out. So when Absalom killed his brother, he was what? Fled. And he knew he couldn't come back. So he was cast out of the kingdom. Same thing. But I will cast you out as profane. Hold that, give me Isaiah 14. Verse 11. So over here in Ezekiel 28:13, it says that he had tabrets and pipes in him. Read Isaiah chapter 14, verse 11.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 11. Your pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of your vials.
The noise of what?
Of the noise of your vials.
He has the instruments in him as well. The noise of your vials. Sound like the same guy when you line it up with the steps. Read.
The worm is spread under you, and the worm cover you.
Go ahead.
How are you fallen from Shammai?
How are you what?
How are you fallen from Shammai?
You was in the kingdom. Read.
O Lucifer, son of the morning.
What does that mean? Shining one. Read.
How will you cut down to the ground?
How are you what?
Cut down to the ground.
I will cast you out of the kingdom as profane. Read.
Which did weaken the nations.
Was it what?
Weaken the nations.
Go ahead.
For you have said in your heart.
And where?
For you have said in your heart.
Ezekiel 28, it says that his heart lifted him up. The pride of his heart. Go ahead.
I will ascend into Shammai.
I will do what?
I will ascend into Shammai.
I'm coming back and take the kingdom, which is what Absalom is trying to do. I'm coming back, even though I was banished and kicked out, I'm coming back and take the kingdom from you. Read.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
Go back to Ezekiel 28, because right here he just says that his heart had him lifted up. Ezekiel 28.
Verse 17.
Lucifer means shining one, or day star. Ezekiel 28, pick it up at verse 15 again.
15. You was perfect in your ways from the day that you was created till iniquity was found in you. By the multitude of your merchandise have you filled the midst of you with violence. You have sinned. Therefore I will cast you as profane out of the mountain of Elohim, and I will destroy you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Your heart was lifted up.
Why was it lifted up?
Because of your beauty.
Because of his beauty, his heart was lifted up. Absalom was the same thing. Beautiful. Because of your heart, because you were so beautiful, you thought you was more than what you are. Read.
You have corrupted your wisdom by reason of your brightness. I will cast you to the ground. I will lay you before kings.
I will do what?
I will lay you before kings.
I will lay you before kings. Read.
That they may behold you. You have defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities.
You defiled your sanctuary by the multitude of your iniquities. Read.
By the iniquity of your traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of you.
The iniquity of you going back and forth, cattle bearing, lying, spreading lies, I will cast you out. Read.
It shall devour you.
It shall what?
It shall devour you.
It shall devour you. So he was once in the kingdom, and got kicked out. Over. Matter of fact, give me Revelation 12 and verse 10. Remember, Absalom led a revolt. He stole the heart of the people to come with him.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in Shamaim, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
The what?
The accuser of our brethren is cast down.
So the guy that walks back and forth, to and fro, all day long, telling him, causing you and acting and trying to get you to sin, that accuse you day and night, every day, this is what he do. Trying to get you not to be able to get in the kingdom. Walks back and forth, to and fro, trying to cause you not to get in. The accuser of the brothers, read,
is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
So, how is going back and forth doing, how is this breaking the law? Everything go back to the law, right? Let's see. Leviticus chapter 19 and 16. Leviticus 19 and 16.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16. You shall not go up and down.
You shall what?
You shall not go up and down.
You shall not go up and down. Didn't Satan always say it? Where are you coming from? From going to and fro, up and down. But the law tells us what? Read it again.
You shall not go up and down as a talebearer.
As a what?
As a talebearer.
As a talebearer. Being a busybody. Messing in people's affairs. You shouldn't do this. This is what the law states. Satan knows the book as well, right?
Got to.
So going back and forth, to and fro, causing mischief purposely to keep you from getting in. So he breaking the law as well. Alright? So we see the same things with Absalom compared with Satan. The same type of characteristics. But we know that David had a heart after the Most High. So Absalom had a heart after Satan. Let's go back to 2 Samuel 17. Second Samuel 17, verse 1. Second Samuel 17, verse 1.
2 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 1. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night.
Going after the king. Read.
And I will come up upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only.
I will do what?
Smite the king only.
Go ahead.
And I will bring back all the people unto you. The man whom you seek is as if all return. So all the people shall be in peace.
So all the people be in what?
In peace.
In peace. Wow, they say, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them. Read.
And the same pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak you. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel of Ahithophel has given is not good at this time. For, said Hushai, you know your father and his men.
You know him. You know how your father get down. Right? We know how the Most High get down. Read.
That they be mighty men.
They be what?
That they be mighty men.
They shall have no other mighty ones before me. Read.
And they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field.
So imagine how a bear that you just took her cubs from her. She coming after you. Read.
And your father is a man of war.
Is what?
A man of war.
Your father is a man of war. How does this go to the law? Let's see. Exodus 15 and 3. All what you got, we coming right back.
Exodus 15 and 3. Yahuwah is a man of war.
He is what?
Yahuwah is a man of war.
Yahuwah is a man of war, because David is a man after his own heart. So just like David is a man of war, Yahuwah is a man of war. Go right back to the law. Let's go back to 2 Samuel 17. Pick it up at verse 9.
Behold, he is hid now in some pit or in some other place. And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom.
Read.
And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that your father is a mighty man.
Everybody know that the Most High is a mighty man. Read.
And they which are with him are valiant men.
Go ahead.
Therefore, I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto you, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that you go to battle in your own person.
Go to battle in your own person. So at the end, it ain't going to be nobody in his stead. Satan going to have to come himself. That's what this is talking about. Come in your own person. I'm not going to send nobody else, because the Messiah coming down himself. And he going to face you himself. Read that last verse again.
Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto you from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for a multitude.
So he got to get as many people as he can get.
Better get your army up.
He trying to get, that's what he's doing. I'm getting as many as I can get. Read.
As that you go to battle in your own person.
And these people was once with David. Keep it in mind. Oh, what you got? Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 3.
Hazon, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in Shamaim, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of Shamaim, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And there was war in Shamaim.
There was what?
And there was war in Shamaim.
He was waging war against the Most High. Just like Absalom waged war against his father. Read.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his malachim, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in Shamaim.
Any more in Shamaim. So we know that that place now he at is down here. Let's go back. 2 Samuel 18. We almost done.
2 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 1.
Verse 1.
Verse 1. And David numbered the people that were with him, and set captains of thousands, and captains of hundreds over them.
So you got your people, I got mine. Read.
And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and the third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also.
Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man.
Deal what?
Deal gently for my sake with the young man.
Go ahead.
Even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom.
So after all of this stuff that Absalom did, David turned around and say, be gentle with him. Don't hurt him. Questions how the people say, man, why don't the Most High just kill Satan? Why didn't you just kill him in the beginning? Just go right to it, right here, to show you the heart of the Most High. Because David got a heart after the Most High. After this guy that did all of this, he just slept with his father's wives. All of this stuff, he still turned around and say, be gentle with him. Don't hurt him. Just bring him. Maybe we can have him talk to Dr. Field.
Kill everybody else, though.
He'll be all right, you know. We can counsel him. After all this, and this guy's heart is completely wicked. Right? Read that verse 5. That verse was just read again. Verse 5.
And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom.
Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule.
So Absalom ride through on a mule. He ain't got the stunning horse. He ride through on a mule. Read.
And the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak.
So the mule riding up under a big tree. Read.
And his head caught hold of the oak.
Wait a minute. What caught hold of the oak?
His head caught hold of the oak.
So what was one of the things that made this guy beautiful? His long hair. So the same thing that makes you beautiful is the same thing that'll bring you down. Read.
It was taken up between the Shamaim and the earth.
Did what?
It was taken up between the Shamaim and the earth.
Wow, so Absalom wanted to exalt himself all the time, right? And be the king. So now his hair that took him up between the heavens and the earth. He wanted to be exalted anyway, right? Read.
And the mule that was under him went away.
It went away. Go ahead.
And a certain man saw it, and told Joab, and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak.
He did what?
I saw Absalom hanged in an oak.
I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. How does this go back to the law? Ooh, what the sport? B, don't, you can't play. Deuteronomy 21. Deuteronomy 21. Deuteronomy 21 and 23.
Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 23. His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but you shall in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is a curse of Elohim.
It is what?
Is a curse of Elohim.
So the same thing that made him, this guy, got him killed, got him cursed. Cursed is the man that hangs on a tree. Right back to the law. My mama is what she been talking about is after 5. It's some key stuff I really, really want to show y'all. Oh my goodness. I will run through it. 2 Samuel 18. We don't go fast. 18 verse 11.
Verse 11. And Joab said unto the man that told him, and behold, you saw him, and why did you not smite him there to the ground? As I would have given you 10 shekels of silver.
You should have killed him right then and there. But this is the king's son, right?
What he told him to do.
Read.
And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in my hand, yet will I not put forth my hand against the king's son.
Against who?
The king's son.
Against the king's son. Read.
For in our hearing the king charged you and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom.
Go ahead.
Otherwise, I should have brought falsehood against my own life. For there is no matter here from the king, and you yourself would have set yourself against me.
Go ahead.
Then said Joab, I might not tarry thus with you. And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom.
Go ahead.
While he was yet alive in the midst of the oak.
While he was yet alive, just like Amasiah was on the stake, yet alive. Read.
And the 10 young men that bare Joab's armor.
How many kings coming against Babylon?
10.
Read.
And compassed about and smote Absalom.
Go ahead.
And slew him. And Joab blew the trumpet. And the people returned from pursuing after Israel. But Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom and cast him into a great pit in the wood.
They did what?
Cast him into a great pit in the wood.
Go ahead.
And laid a very great heap of stones upon him.
So they took Absalom and cast him into a very great pit. Give me Revelation 20, verse 1. We coming right back here. We rushing through it. Revelation 20 and verse 1.
Revelations 20 and 1. And I saw a Malachim come down from the Shamaim, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Shaitan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit.
They said he threw Absalom into a great pit. Now Satan is being thrown into what? The bottomless pit, or a great pit. Let's go back. 2 Samuel.
2 Samuel
18
and 17. And they took Absalom and cast him into a great pit in the wood, and laid a very great heap of stones upon him. And all Israel fled, every one to his tent.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, Let me now run and bear the king tidings, how that Yahuwah hath avenged him of his enemies.
So Yahuwah avenged him. This is David. Because it's talking about further than that. Jump down to verse 32.
Verse 32. And the king said unto Cushai, Is the young man Absalom safe?
So David don't know that he dead right now. Read.
Cushai answered, The enemies of my master, the king, and all that rise against you to do you hurt, be as that young man is.
So now David know that his son is dead. Read.
And the king was much moved.
He was what?
He was much moved.
Read.
and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. And he went, thus he said, "O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would Elohim that I had died for you."
That I what?
That I had died for you.
Wow, did the Messiah come down and die for the people? After all that's been done to him and been put on him and they spit on him and all of this, come down and say, "I die for you." David right here after his wicked son has done all this stuff to him, come down and say, "Oh my son Absalom, would I have died for you." Chapter 19, verse 1.
And it came, and it was told Joab, "Behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. And the victory the day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed still away when they flee the battle."
So all of this, the victory, now the people is mourning. He tells us when the kingdom comes that he's going to have to wipe the tears away from the people. Because even though you just got victory, you still going to be mourning because you're going to know some of your own loved ones is in the melee. Read.
But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son." And Joab came into the house.
So we see right here the same reason why the Most High just don't kill Satan in the first place. He don't even want to do it. Same thing with David. He don't want to do it. Last scripture we done. Matthew 5:43. And it'll give you understanding of why Mashiach said some of the things he said. Matthew 5:43.
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 43. "You have heard that it hath been said, You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies."
Do what?
Love your enemies.
Love your enemies, even though he just tried to kill you, do all these wicked things. Love your enemies. Read.
"Bless them that curse you."
Do what?
"Bless them that curse you."
Bless them that curse you. Read.
"Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in Shamayim. For he make his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and send rain on the just and on the unjust."
And this go back to the law, right, with Joseph and his brothers. Loving your enemies. With that, we say shalom.